Next up it is the Pickup Truck Racing Championship. We saw some action from Brands Hatch from their season opener in April a little earlier on. Now, if you've not seen them before, these aren't the pickup trucks that you would see your local tradesmen driving around in. These are very specialised race machines. There's a little bit of fly pass going on in the background. There is an airfield next to Pembrey. We've just seen the shadow go across there. So I've got some aerobatics going on as part of this weekend as well. There they are. A little bit of an air display as well. Very nice indeed. Must be the white arrows. But the pickup trucks, as we said, they are race-tuned engines, either Ford Duratex or C20 engines, 2 litre or 2.5 litre under the bonnets of these pickups with custom-built body shells, quite similar to short-circuit hot rods almost, the construction of these space frame machines, or indeed a lot of the drivers are ex-short oval racers. We should see around 18 of them out for the first of 3 races this weekend. It will be a 15-lap race around the Pembrey circuit. Very close indeed, some very evenly matched races, and they make it a little bit different because after qualifying the top 6 are reversed, so the 6th fastest driver from qualifying starts on pole to make things a bit more interesting. At Brands Hatch it was a double win for the reigning champion George Turicchi, who is looking for his 3rd consecutive title, well 3rd title in 4 years because the pickup series wasn't held in 2020 due to the pandemic. Turicchi leads the points ahead of Rhys Jones, number 40. We saw earlier on they had a thrilling battle in the second race at Brands Hatch. Alan Cooper going well in 3rd in the points, and checking the lineup for race 1. He looks like he's qualified on pole for the first race, 6th fastest in qualifying, so he's got quickest on the grid. Okay, the grid looks like this then from qualifying. Alan Cooper on pole alongside the number 21 of Dean Tompkins. Championship leader George Turicchi on row 2 alongside Michael Smith. Row 3 it's Dale Gent and Mark Willis with Danny Hunn and Rhys Jones in behind them, and the top 10 completed by Roger Dormer and Dan Fisher. Row 6 is Pat Kiley, and alongside him is Paul Tompkins, father of Dean. Row 7, Jeff Dixon, the West Midlander, alongside Tom Hutchins. Row 8 is Jamie Liptrot, and the first appearance of the season for Neil Tressler with his newly liveried truck. Final row of the grid, Gavin Pike, and welcome back Jeff Simpson, the first ever pickup truck racing champion way back in 1998. He won the first ever title for them in the UK, and he's back for his first appearance in many years this weekend. Jeff, the father of Matt Simpson, ex-British touring car racer. We did catch up with some of the drivers earlier on down in the paddock with Ewan. Let's hear from them in just a moment.
So ahead of the pickup truck racing, I'm here with Mark Willis, car number 65. Mark, what a great start to your weekend here at Pembrey.
Yeah, I mean, we had a bit of engine problems at Brands Hatch in race 2, and the engine's been away and been done, so I think we've gained a little bit there, and been working quite hard to keep up with the front boys. There's a lot of young boys in it now that I'm trying to keep up with.
You're not a young boy?
No, I'm in my 50s. Yeah, low 50s. So no, everything's all good. We're persevering with it, and I'm really pleased with that this morning. Yeah, over the moon.
So for those that don't know, pole sitter on twice for both sessions, yeah? Like you say, 3rd and 5th at Brands Hatch last weekend. Not last weekend, last round of the competition. Yeah. So great start to your weekend and your season. What are your aspirations, ambitions for the year? Because you've been in pickup racing quite a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, do you know, all you've got to do with pickup truck racing, because of the point system, is finish. You know, you can get like a 12th place finish and limp across the line, but the amount of points you lose when you have a DNF, it really, really can hurt your championship campaign. So you've just got to try and keep consistent, keep finishing. Obviously, the further up the better, but you get the points for qualifying as well, which isn't a great amount, but it's nice when you go out there and you can judge yourself with other people through the qualifying times. So, you know, it all works out in the end. Now,
track conditions, roasting hot, how are you dealing with that?
Do you know what? I went out there this morning, and to be honest, I had a bit of understeer, and I thought, we're going to struggle here this morning. I need to alter the car. So I just calmed myself down a little bit and started hitting me marks and getting bits and pieces. And the boys were putting out P1, and I thought, well, we're not doing too bad. But to be honest, I felt like I was struggling a little bit. But then sometimes you can be like that and be up the front, and then other times you can feel like you're flying and you can be P10. So it's quite deceiving, but either the other boys were struggling or we was on it, and it all worked out.
Now, this is the first season in a little while we've seen pickup truck racing on BARC TV. Can you do me a favour? Can you tell us a bit about pickup truck racing, a little about the history, the engine, the sort of acceleration, a bit about the car?
Yeah, well, all the chassis are SHP, they're all identical. Yeah, chassis are all built at SHP at Littleport. Everyone's identical. The only variation you can run is like caster camber, spring poundages, cross weights, that sort of thing. You've got two different engine choices. You can either run the Ford 2.5 or the Vauxhall 2.3. They're all limited very much to the same horsepower and torque, so that no driver's really got an advantage. They're all sealed up. All got to run the specific cam that you get from SHP, so everything's pretty much in the bag the same. So you can't. There isn't anybody that's got a great deal of advantage. Then all you got is down to the driver and the bit of setup and you know your tyre rotation. So.
Is it best driver wins in pickup racing?
Not necessarily. You know, I think the quality of the drivers in the pickup trucks at the moment is underestimated. I think there's a lot of people that are in it. You know, they look at them as pickup trucks. They're a formula where people maybe don't. They've got a very good following, fan base. I think people look at them as because it's a pickup, they maybe don't want to get involved. It's a fantastic series. The amount of the team of people that run it and the coordinators that we've got behind us. I don't think there's another series like it in the country, you know, at the moment. It's got a fantastic following, and the driving standards are absolutely underestimated. There is some fantastic drivers in this formula.
Now, last question. On your screen there, you've got 0 kg. What is the ballast situation in pickup truck racing?
Right, so you know, you've got your success ballast, pretty similar to the touring cars last year before they went with a hybrid. You win a race, you get 30 kilogram ballast. Second place, you get 20. Third place, you get 10. And then you have to carry that ballast throughout the weekend. You can take 10 out. If you don't finish in the top 3 in the following race, you can only take a quantity of 10 out per race. So if you win a race and you don't finish in the top 3 in the next 3 races, that's how long it's going to take you to get rid of that 30 kilograms.
What does 30 kg mean in terms of lap time?
To be honest, sometimes if you've got a wet weekend, it can help you a little bit. But then obviously the weight does different circuits, places like Snetterton, Donington, big fast circuits, you'd most probably not notice it as much, but then little short circuits like where we are today and the Brands Indy, it makes a big difference with your cross weight and your ballast.
Really appreciate your time. Best of luck for your racing weekend.
Thank you very much.
Right, let's go and speak to Brands Hatch's double race winner, George.
We are about to get underway with our first of 3 pickup truck races this weekend. You'll notice Rhys Jones has been moved back on the grid after problems in qualifying. We're about to get underway then. Alan Cooper, number 72, on pole position alongside Dean Tompkins. 15 laps gets underway from the rolling starts. Great insight there from Mark Willis, who starts 6th on the grid in the red and blue, number 65. Into that first turn at Hatchett's hairpin, Alan Cooper and Dean Tompkins side by side. George Taricki is in behind them. See who's going to come out with the lead as they head over the crossing for the first time. Looks like it is the white truck of Dean Tompkins who has got the lead. Coming through on the inside is Michael Smith, the number 93. A couple of trucks go off wide. Dan Fisher is one of them. Jamie Liptrot, number 2, is the other. He spins out as they come out of the crossing there towards centre. Dan Fisher has headed off around the rallycross circuit. There's more problems further forward. Dale Gent has tangled with somebody. I think that might have been George Taricki. There's so much going on there now. Gavin Pike has spun, the number 51. Oh, it's complete mayhem there around the first lap. Dean Tompkins has the lead ahead of Michael Smith and Mark Willis. It was Jeff Dixon, the yellow truck, involved there, number 50. Okay, so things settling down then after a rather chaotic first lap there. Dean Tompkins, number 21, has the lead. It's Michael Smith in second place, and the pole sitter, Alan Cooper, has dropped right back into the pack. He made a slow start. Let's see again what happened there. First of all, there was Liptrot and Fisher went off on the outside exiting the crossing, but then further forward, try and see what happened there. And yes, it was Dale Gent got sideways. He spun out just ahead of Jeff Dixon. Jeff Simpson, meanwhile, the number 3, on his comeback had to slow, just avoided the 83 of Dale Gent there, the former Classic Thunder Saloon racer, and Gavin Pike spun in avoidance. Okay, so we'll collect our thoughts and See what's happening up the front of the field. It is Dean Tompkins, number 21, who has got the lead. Michael Smith, the former champion in 93 in second. Mark Willis, one of the most experienced men in the field. We heard from him earlier explaining the technical side of these pickup trucks. He's in third place. George Turicki, the double Brands Hatch winner, the championship leader, is in fourth place. And it's Pat Kiley up there in fifth position in the number 56 as well. He's going well. His first season in pickup trucks, having moved up from short circuit hot rods. And he's up into fifth. Oh, and a bit of contact there. Michael Smith clipped the back of Dean Tompkins under braking. Look at Mark Willis at the inside. And Turicki's got to go up the inside of all of them. He's going to try and get second place at Spitfires, and he's done it. Brilliant, George Turicki. He really is a cut above the rest in this series at the moment. Michael Smith has gone down to fourth, and now surely it's only a matter of time before George Turicki catches Dean Tompkins in the number 21. He's sliding about there as they come out of the crossing up towards the right-hander at Senna. Mark Willis fighting back in the number 65. Fourth place is 93 of Michael Smith. Then it's Pat Kiley up there in fifth place ahead of Roger Dormer in sixth position in the number 7, the ex-Lightning Rod racer. He used to race Ford Sierras. He's going well in sixth place. There's certainly a big shake-up in the order caused by that early spin by Dale Gents. And our pole sitter, Alan Cooper's dropped right back. He must have a problem. He's lost 9 places on that last lap, the 72, the ex-Formula 2 stock car racer. Started on pole having qualified 6th, with Mark Willis fastest in qualifying. He got flipped around, of course, never mind that, because George Turicki's up the inside into Hatchett's hairpin, side by side with Dean Tompkins. He's surely going to take the lead as they come out towards the right at Spitfires. Yes, he goes through, and Mark Willis sideways there, nearly lost it through Spitfires, up to the left at Debeni. They are sliding about all over the place. I'm wondering if there's a bit of fluid down on the circuit in that first section of the lap, because they're all over the place. Look at Turicki, well out sideways coming out of the crossing. Used to going sideways. He's raced Formula 2 stock cars, hot rods. He began his career in mini stocks as a junior. Now there's Rhys Jones and Danny Hunn running wide. He's onto the grass now in the 39. Comes from a famous hot rodding family himself, Danny Hunn. Now Rhys Jones, I'll eventually get round to explaining this, but there's so much going on. I think he must have had an engine problem after qualifying, because if you break an engine seal on your truck, you heard Mark Willis mention that all the engines are sealed. If you break a seal, you move to the back of the grid, and off goes Dean Tompkins. He's gone wide onto the grass. They can't seem to stay on the tarmac in this race. This is incredible stuff. The yellow is out there to warn the drivers he'll be rejoining. He's lost a huge number of places there, Dean Tompkins. I thought he was heading for the tyre wall. 29 going through on the inside is Tom Hutchins, ex-Saloon car racer. Mostly at Brands Hatch earlier in his career. Dean Tompkins will now try and fight back. Many trucks having gone through, including his father Paul in number 12. So it's Turicki that leads from Willis, Smith in third, Pat Kiley up into fourth place in the number 56. He's doing brilliantly. Then it's the number 7 of Dormer. Rhys Jones from the back of the grid is up to 6th. He was at the back along with Neil Tressler, who's on his first appearance of the season, and Jeff Simpson, who's out for the first time in many years. Must wish good luck to Jeff Simpson's grandson Ben, who's competing today in the British Karting Championships at PF International. His father Matt will be there with him, Jeff's son. Let's have a look again at Dean Tompkins. Straight off over the grass, nearly hits the GT tyres board there. Not quite sure what's happened there for Dean Tompkins, but he lost a huge number of places. There in the black and green truck is his dad Paul Tompkins, the ex-World Banger Racing champion in number 12. Here are the leaders: Turicki, Willis and Smith. Michael Smith, number 93, the man from Hartlepool, has done the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 3.9. Coming through over the crossing, and we've got a tangle there. That's Alan Cooper in the tyre wall, and Dan Fisher have tangled up. It looks like his steering may be broken, Dan Fisher. So Alan Cooper, who started on pole position, is out. Well, certainly an incident-packed race so far. Here comes Rhys Jones on a burn from the stern, as they say in American racing, from the back of the grid. We saw what he could do at Brands Hatch, battling side by side with George Turicki for the lead. He's a Brands Hatch specialist. He used to race there in a Honda Civic for several years. He's got Paul Tompkins and Danny Hunn on his tail. There's yellow flags there, so no overtaking at Carter's and through Honda, so there may be somebody off on the outside there. That's why I've got the yellow flags. And I think we may have the safety car coming out. In fact, yes, I saw George Turicki slowing the field down. Yes, the safety car is coming out, presumably because of Alan Cooper and Dan Fisher's trucks off. chance to pause for breath as the safety car, or safety truck, coming out. The big American Dodge Ram pickup truck there, usually driven by Stuart Bradburn. Still got the aerobatics going on overhead. It's acrobatics on the track at the moment. Our volunteer marshals have the yellow flags and the safety car boards out, while the other marshalling team clears up the incident there at Hatchett's hairpin. There's the reason. Alan Cooper in the tyre wall, Dan Fisher off as well after they tangled. Mentioned all these trucks built by SHP, Sonny Howard's business prepares and repairs many different race vehicles. Sonny Howard has been a race car preparer for many years now. Started off in the sport as mechanic to the great Barry Lee in his rallycross days. And Barry's son Freddie has been a champion in the pickups in the past as well. There's the big American beast heading these machines around. Of course, in America you'd see pickups like this race on the ovals, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. There's Jeff Simpson in the white truck towards that. Great to have him back. I remember watching Jeff when I was very young at Hensford Hills Raceway in the National Hot Rods. His son Matt followed him into Hot Rods following his days in the mini stocks, raced Legends as well, and then went to British touring cars. And now helping his own son Ben with his racing in karts. Medics just there as a precaution to check on the drivers after Alan Cooper hit the tyres. Alan Cooper used to a bit of crash and bash. He's won titles in, believe it or not, Reliant Robin racing in the past on the short tracks. There's Dan Fisher's truck as well, number 5, moving to pick up some saloon car racing on the circuits in Honda Civic Type Rs, among other things, over the last few years. And I think the red flag may be coming out. I've got a notification of a red flag on my timing screen. So the race, yes, the red flag is out, race stopped in the interests of safety. So we'll wait to see what's going to happen here. We were on lap 8 out of 15, so we're about halfway through this first pickup truck racing championship event of the weekend. It's certainly been an incident-packed one. Now, we'll wait and see what's going to happen. If the trucks stop on the grid, it will mean we may get a restart. Apologies for a bit of problem with our sound there for a moment. Sorry if I deafened any of you. Okay, the trucks, we're going to wait and see if they go into the pit lane or whether they're going to stop on the grid here. Okay, so we have stopped on grid behind the pace truck, and that means we should get a restart fairly shortly over either the remaining distance or a slightly reduced distance. Here comes the recovery vehicle, taking a shortcut over the Pembrey rallycross circuit there, complete with water splash. We had the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship here at Pembrey recently for a double-header weekend. They use that circuit in both directions as well in Rallycross. And here comes the flatbed lorry to recover Alan Cooper and Dan Fisher's pickup trucks. They couldn't. I think the reason for the red flag is they couldn't be pushed away by the marshals, and so need the heavy artillery to recover them here. If you've just joined us, the cause of the red flag is a pair of trucks that have gone into the tyre wall at Hatchett's Hairpin, the first corner. Alan Cooper, number 72, and also Dan Fisher, number 5. Certainly a blustery day here at Pembrey in South Wales. Plenty of off-track attractions here at this convoy truck event, including a truck show and even some tractor pulling as well. Okay, we'll be back underway just as soon as we can, just awaiting notification of how long the restart will be. Just like come through on the timing screen, there will be a 5-lap restart, so the overall race distance will reduce by a couple of laps. It will be a 5-lap restart.
Car moving under its own steam, so being driven back to the paddock.
Okay, the number 72 truck of Alan Cooper has been recovered and has been able to drive back to the paddock under its own steam. Under the red flags currently here at Pembrey in our first pickup truck racing events of the day. Red flag coming out on lap 8 after an incident at Hatchett's Hairpin. We saw Alan Cooper and Dan Fisher tangle and head into the tyre wall. The track is just being cleared by the volunteer marshalling team at the moment, and then hopefully we'll get a restart. We will have a restart over 5 laps, according to the timing screen. Plenty of incidents so far in our first pickup race of the day. George Taricki, the championship leader, looking for his 3rd win of the season to keep up his unbeaten record. Don't forget, we're also on BARC TV next weekend. That comes from Snetterton in Norfolk. The MSUK British Endurance Championship will headline there. We've also got the Pragas, the Britcar Trophy, and supports as well. The Hyundai Coupe Cup will be in action at Snetterton as well, and various other saloon car races. There's a full programme next weekend from the Norfolk venue here on BARC TV. We've yet to have confirmation of the result of our first truck race today. We have got the result of the mini challenge, confirmed as a win for Nelson King, ahead of Matt Hammond and Lee Pearce. Hopefully, shortly the track will be clear up there at Hatchett's Hairpin, and we can get this race back underway as soon as the pace truck moves off. It's George Taricki in the lead ahead of Mark Willis. The order very shaken up after those incidents on the opening couple of laps. Saw Dale Gent, number 83, go for a spin. He used to race in the Classic Thunder Saloon Championship with a modified Subaru Impreza. Dean Tompkins went grass tracking, coming out of Honda Corner while fighting for the lead in the 21. Saw Jamie Liptrot, number 2, have a spin, and that sent Dan Fisher out wide. Hopefully we'll see better fortunes for everyone on the restarts. Should be coming up very shortly, once we get the all clear from the clerk of the course. It's confirmed it will be a 5-lap restart. Heard earlier that the engines in these pickups, either the 2.3 litre Vauxhall engine or 2.5 litre Ford Duratec. It's all designed to be as equal as possible. Now, officials signalling on the grid down there. Not too clear why. Is there a problem there for one of the trucks, perhaps? Or are we about to get back underway? One truck pulling out of line there. That's Roger Dormer, number 7. Now the pace truck is moving off. I'm not too sure why Roger Dormer pulled out of line there briefly. Unless it's going to be a double file restart, a la NASCAR. Okay, so it's George Turicchi with the lead ahead of Mark Willis. Michael Smith in 3rd place in the 93. Dormer is up to 4th, and Rhys Jones in 5th position. He started towards the back in the number 40 after that issue in qualifying. Paul Tompkins, number 12, is in 6th. Then who have we got behind him? We have Danny Hunn, number 39. Then Dean Tompkins, son of Paul. Tom Hutchins, Dale Gent, Jeff Dixon, Jamie Liptrot. There's Neil Tressler, his newly liveried truck at the back of the field, along with Jeff Simpson and the 51 of Gavin Pike. Gavin, another driver who's come through the world of short circuit hot rod racing. It'll be a rolling restart, a 5-lap sprint for the line. The truck that I'll have my eye on here is Rhys Jones, number 40. It'll be interesting to see whether he can come through and challenge George Turicchi. We saw what they could do at Brands Hatch in April, battling side by side most of the way for the lead. Turicchi just prevailing. Take the win in both races. He was champion in 2019 and 2021. Going for a hat-trick here, the series not run in 2020. There's Gavin Pike, number 51. Lights are out atop the pace truck, so we'll be going back to racing this time. We're going to see George Turicchi, the Northamptonshire driver, pull away in front. His dad, Mark Turicchi, a very successful hot rodder. Well, Pat Kiley was up there, but he's dropped to the back of the field, so he must have maybe been into the pits. Or was he caught up in that incident with Alan Cooper? We didn't see. We're getting ready for a restart then. Power starts to come on and away they go. We're back to racing here at Pembrey Circuit. Down towards Hatchett's Hairpin for the first time. It is George Turicchi who leads them away. Down into the right-hander. I think they're just being told to take it easy around the first couple of corners so things don't bunch up too much. We have gone back to green. Now the power comes on and we're back underway. Pickups do things slightly differently just to stop too much bunching here at Pembrey. So now we are underway and racing as they go over the crossing. George Taricki runs a bit wide through there. Mark Willis on the attack, so is Michael Smith. Now watch for Rhys Jones in the number 40. He's attacking Roger Dormer, but he's got the number 12 on his tail, and Dormer's gone wide there. And is that Taricki run wide? It is. He's run wide coming out of Senna. I saw the dust go up there. I thought it was Dormer that had run wide, but no, it was the leader. And Mark Willis takes the lead ahead of Michael Smith. A mistake there, a rare mistake from George Taricki, and he goes back to third place. So it's Mark Willis, number 65, who leads the way. George Taricki has got 4 laps to try and move back into the lead. You can see them sliding all over the place on the very limit of adhesion. And here comes Michael Smith on the inside into Hatchett's hairpin. Side by side on the run through. Smith's got the inside line and he goes through in the offshore fuels truck into the lead. Mark Willis goes down into second place. Can he fight back here as they come through the left-hander at Debeni up towards the crossing? And Rhys Jones, it looks like it is through. He is through into fourth ahead of Roger Dormer. Now he'll go after George Taricki. Battle join from Brands Hatch once again. Next through are the Tompkins father and son pairing. Then it is Tom Hutchins going well in the number 29. 16 trucks still running. They're still running wide coming out of Senna there on several occasions. And the leader makes a slight mistake there, Michael Smith. He ran wide on the exit of Brooklands corner. Here comes Mark Willis trying to get into the slipstream down the main straight. And Taricki's back there as well in third in the 28. Round the right-hander at Honda Curve. Rhys Jones trying to close up onto their tails as well, but he runs a bit wide. And running very wide is Roger Dormer. He's onto the grass. Down towards the right-hander at Hatchett's. Michael Smith leads. Here comes Taricki up the inside in the 28. He could find his route blocked there. They lean on each other a little. Taricki will have the inside for the right at Spitfire. Somebody's off behind them. It's Dean Tompkins, number 21. Now, did he lock up and spin, or was he pushed? I'm not sure. Gets going again at the back. Here come your leaders. Now Smith from Taricki, Willis, then it's Jones, and they get back to Paul Tompkins in 5th. Roger Dormer down to 6th. He ran wide at the end of the previous lap. And still your leader is Michael Smith in the 93. Is George Taricki going to be defeated for the first time this season? He's got Mark Willis on his tail there in the number 65, one of the most experienced men in the race, another of the most experienced pickup truck racers of all out in front, the number 93, former 3-time champion Michael Smith. Taricki looking for his 3rd title this year in 2nd. Rhys Jones has done the fastest lap of the race, 104.55. Couple of laps to go as they go over the line. Look at this as they head down towards Hatchett's hairpin. George Taricki moves to cover. Jones is there on the inside. He's surely going to go through for 3rd place on the inside of the hairpin, but Mark Willis tries to slam the door on him. He's not going to though, and Jones goes through. The number 40 up into 3rd place from the penultimate row of the grid. Now can he move further up onto the podium, Rhys Jones in number 40? Is George Taricki going to be able to catch Michael Smith? It's looking unlikely at the moment, but you never know in this formula. Mark Willis trying to fight back. 4 of them together. 5th is the number 12 of Paul Tompkins. Then it's Roger Dormer having a good run in the number 7. The 39 of Danny Hunn is next. Then Hutchins, Gent and Pat Kiley rounding out the top 10 in the number 56. Michael Smith breaking away a little. Mark Willis is not finished yet as they come towards Honda Curve. He's going to try and attack back for 3rd place down the start-finish straights. 1 lap to go for Michael Smith. Here come your leaders down into the hairpin once again. Rhys Jones trying to go with George Taricki. Dropped Mark Willis very slightly. Michael Smith still leads. A little wide onto the curb there. George Taricki in that 2nd place. Willis is determined here in the 65 truck. Dale Gent up into 8th place further back. He's got ahead of Tom Hutchins. Pat Kiley rounding out the top 10 behind them. 16 trucks still running. Of course, we lost Dan Fisher and Alan Cooper at the red flag. Through Brooklands they go for the final time, and it looks as though George Taricki is going to be beaten for the first time in the 2022 Pickup Truck Racing Championship, because it's the man from the northeast, Michael Smith, out front in number 93, former Brisker F1 stock car racer. Been a while since you've seen him take a win in the Pickup Truck Racing Championship, but he's going to put that right here. They all slide wide coming out of the final turn, but Smith crosses the line to take the win. Turicki second, third goes to Jones, great drive through the field from him. Fourth, it is Mark Willis, fifth Paul Tompkins, and it looks as though Danny Hunn came through for sixth ahead of Roger Dormer. Eighth is Dale Gent, ninth Tom Hutchins, and Pat Kiley finishes in 10th place. 11th is Jamie Liptrot, then Jeff Dixon comes over in 12th. Dean Tompkins, a rather fraught race for him with a couple of offs, he takes 13th. Welcome back Jeff Simpson, he comes in 14th. 15th is going to be Neil Tressler, and completing the finishers, Gavin Pike. A rather fraught opener for the pickup trucks then. Winning margin of 0.8 of a second for Michael Smith over the reigning champion George Turicki. Turicki's first defeat of the season. Great win for the number 93 Offshore Fuels and A1 Performance Products truck. It certainly was an A1 performance from Michael Smith, taking the lead at the hairpin midway through from Mark Willis after George Turicki had run wide and dropped back to third place. Rhys Jones, a great drive for him to come through into third place, the man from Kent. Here are the results then. Michael Smith, the winner by 0.8 of a second ahead of George Turicki, and Rhys Jones third, just ahead of Mark Willis. Paul Tompkins a bit further back in fifth place. Danny Hunn a good sixth ahead of Roger Dormer. Dale Gent in eighth, and Tom Hutchins and Pat Kiley completing the top 10. Jamie Liptrot in 11th despite that first lap spin. Jeff Dixon next term ahead of Dean Tompkins after a few offs. Then Jeff Simpson on his return 14th. Neil Tressler rounding out the top 15. The other finisher, number 51, Gavin Pike. Of course, we lost Alan Cooper and Dan Fisher when the red flags came out into the tyre wall.